What's going on, family? It's your man, K to the second letter. I am here on Southside Rabbi with another episode with my dear brother in the Lord, my partner in crime, he who cannot be defeated or deleted. You need to greet him when you see him, retweet him, because he is that He's off in the deep end with the Stevens, talking about the one from Acts 7, the bread with no leaven, brethren.
Oh.
Man, I can do this all
Listen,
day.
bro. J. Cole, watch out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Watch out.
Watch out, boy. Of course, I'm talking about the Dream Meme Machine Hudson.
Yeah.
We just wrapped up an episode.
Oh, you just want to start?
We just need to start the
episode.
episode.
I understand that.
No,
I just want to say that
I don't
the person
feel good
that
about
is
my
sitting
intro.
across from me right now.
Oh, no.
Listen, there is a reason that this man has a shirt on that says Devil's Adversary, bro.
Oh, wow.
Because I am convinced that when Satan hears this man and his brilliance and give his arguments, he says...
There's a picture of the Archangel on here. That's the Devil's Adversary.
Oh, okay. But you are, too.
I guess.
Look, I watched a debate the other day between, there's a great thinker that we like. We don't agree with everything that he says, but there's a guy named Destiny.
Yes.
Great thinker, has a lot of knowledge in a lot of different areas, and he went up against another great thinker named Jordan Peterson.
That's correct.
Watched the whole thing. It was really good,
It's
man.
a great combo.
And I remember he told Destiny that he's sharp and he's knowledgeable, right? And he knows what he's talking about, stuff like that. Jordan Peterson said that to him, and I said, man, that means a lot coming from a man as sharp as Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
But I am convinced that if Jordan Peterson was actually talking to KB,
What?
he would say, listen, man, first of all, I don't even know what I'm doing here.
That's not true.
I don't even know why I'm here. You should be writing a book called The 13 Rules of Life.
How many did he have?
12. Which in the 13th rule would teach you how to shut down your opponent in a debate like you have done here today for me, sir.
Wow.
And he will probably give him the key to Canada.
What?
Not Drake, but KB. He would just talk about his brilliance and also say that we're never doing this again unless we're on the same team, right? But either way, this is not about Jordan Peterson. This is about the brilliance of the man that is sitting across from me. I mean, if we would have known in his infancy what he would have turned out to be now.
Wow.
Listen, the doctors would have rejoiced in that delivery room, not as one that rejoices over a savior being born, but over a genius.
Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to you about a man that if Oppenheimer met, he would say, listen, maybe you should have been in the Manhattan Project.
Bro, listen.
And things would not have gone as sideways as it did.
Oppenheimer will punch him in his face.
All I'm saying is that give a round of applause for Kevin Elijah Smooth and Groove Burgess, Truth Theologian for real. If you give him a Bible, he will give it to his daughter, and she will exegete the text and plant it in your cerebral cortex without being a pastor.
Wow, I love that. Without being a pastor, because we don't believe in women pastors.
I'm just joking.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Oh, I just had to throw that out there. I was just joking.
Bro,
all right.
That is so funny that is such a complementarian reflex, bro. Damn, man, this woman is serving God in powerful ways. She has led an orphanage that has changed the lives of thousands of people locally. She goes day and night for the kingdom of God. She ain't no pastor, though. But anyways,
yes.
and never will be, not around here.
Right.
Anyways, this episode of Southside Rabbi is brought to you by 10 by 10. 10 by 10 is a collective of over 100 partners and organizations creating resources and bringing leaders together on a mission to make faith matter more. Studies show that more and more young people are leaving the faith, but with God's help, we are facing this challenge head on. Join 10 by 10 in revolutionizing the future of youth discipleship. Visit 10by10.org and find out how you can be a part of this movement to impact 10 million young lives for Jesus. That's TENX10.org. Today, we're going to have an interesting conversation with a church-wide challenge. Okay. It's not a modern church issue. This has been an issue throughout history, Christian history in particular. But the modern church has perfected this issue. Okay. We didn't originate this whole problem that I'm about to introduce. But we are the best at it ever.
Wow.
Okay. In my opinion. I'm talking about the issue of celebrity in the Church of Jesus Christ.
Oh, you're a Christian celebrity.
Well, I am in some ways a part of the problem. Okay. And I want to own that. I want to own that and try to be a part of the solution. Okay. For a long time, I'd be like, well, whatever. I'm no Christian celebrity. But let me tell you something, bro. You take me to any Christian bookstore in America, bro.
And the Christian moms, they are coming up getting autographs everywhere on their forehead.
Bro, I am the man at Calvary
ESV.
Chapel.
Listen, I'd have been at a sushi place. Me and KB was at a sushi place having sushi, having a good conversation. This man said, excuse me. Are you KB? I would like to buy you a California roll if you don't.
I'd like to buy you a California roll. Bro, you were wild.
Go ahead, I'm
broski.
sorry.
My next writing project was going to be on this.
Was?
It was. No, I'm not doing it now.
Why?
Because the book was already written by a lady named Caitlin Beatty.
Okay. Shout out to Caitlin Beatty.
Caitlin Beatty
Hey,
wrote this
Caitlin
book.
Beatty, if you see us, man, come on the pod.
Yes, man, Celebrities for Jesus. And I was like, I was finna write this mug. But I think it's better for Caitlin because I also have some conflicts because I'm friends with some of these people that she's talking about in this mug. I care about our relationships.
Right.
Unless they start tripping because...
Listen, if you start tripping,
it's the last,
KB is quick to cut you off.
But it had to be the last resort, though.
Yeah.
I have called a Christian leader many a times.
Yeah.
Especially if we're wrestling with it behind closed doors.
Right.
I don't want to be a part of the chorus of YouTube videos critiquing leaders. In fact, if nobody else critiqued these dudes anymore or these gals anymore, there's enough to last for a long time right now, okay? Mm-hmm. But anyways, I was going to write about this, the ways in which I believe that celebrity culture, it's a predilection that we all share to vicariously live through somebody we see as important, grand, ultra-talented, world-class.
Right.
We deify them. ESPN is a good example of the way we deify people with world-class talent.
Interesting.
But you see it negatively on ESPN. They talk about these people like they're not human beings. Such and such is a bum. I don't know why this dude has no talent.
Meanwhile,
this dude,
you can't dribble a basketball between your legs.
That's right. You've never played organized basketball a day of your life. You don't even know what it is to perform on anyway. I guess you can perform on your show as you're talking about the performance of others, but you would never talk to that person like that in their face.
Right. Sure.
You would never be in front of a LeBron James and call him a crybaby. To his face.
I just don't really think that you would do that.
Yes. You see those videos online when people take that online and ESPN talk to the side to the court
game.
side.
Oh yeah,
and
they
start
get thrown
shouting
out.
it at
and they get thrown
Kevin
out.
Durant or Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
You get thrown out.
And Russell Westbrook will smack you too. So
because in real life, the Bible says that a fool's mouth invites a beating.
Yeah.
It's not as easy.
Yeah.
When you take that to human interaction, your lips get swollen, your teeth go missing. Your concussions
are readily available.
Readily available, bro. CTE, if it was on a chart, it goes through the roof. If you talk like that.
We treat celebrities like they are objects.
That's right.
And aliens.
We also see them as incredibly privileged. So
Woo!
LeBron James.
I mean, we've seen that with racism.
Absolutely.
Colin Kaepernick shouldn't take a knee. What does he have to cry? What kind of injustice is he facing?
Yes, ain't nobody arresting you.
I know that LeBron James' house got broken into and they spray painted nigger on his door, but his house is cost $25 million.
Absolutely. What are you mad about?
Like what?
You can't take a little N-word every now and then? Little taser to the rib? What's the problem? What are you mad about?
Take a little N-word every now and then. Go ahead. I am so sorry. But it's funny. We're laughing, but it is the kind of like rhetoric and logic, this kind of reason that we use towards some of the stuff that is said to these celebrities.
Right.
It really is.
Absolutely, bro. And it's because
telling LeBron James to shut up and dribble.
Yes.
Also, it's not just that celebrities are seen as privileged, but some celebrities are seen as not being able to have an opinion on anything besides what they do.
That's right.
I'm not for bringing celebrities in as if though they're experts.
Where's Ja Rule?
Right. There's a terrorist attack in America, and we're asking what Lil Baby thinks about this.
Where's Lil Baby?
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that Lil Baby could have his own opinion on the terrorist attack.
Absolutely.
And maybe offer some insight that's insightful.
Yeah,
You shouldn't just say shut up and go in front of a microphone and rap a song.
You see this happening with the way celebrities are being cannibalized on TikTok right now. J-Lo is at the top of the list, my brother.
They are putting Old Bay sauce on J-Lo.
We have deified you, and that's the flip side of deifying a human being. You are also able to hate them on a drop of a hat because you want to be them and you hate that you do. You want what they have and you hate that you don't have it.
Or you hate what they're doing with it.
Or you hate what they're doing with it. Because all of that, I think, is a part of the allure of celebrity culture. It does weird things to us, and it also does really weird things to the celebrity. It also does weird things to you. You begin to have a sense of inflation of who you are that becomes a baseline. You start to forget that you're just, they don't think that you're a human, and you start to believe that you're not actually human, that you are royalty. You are the queen and the king and the deified personality that they think you are.
On toes now.
Yeah, bro. We'll get to that in a second, though. But let me just unfurl this. It says celebrity culture, in a lot of ways, is baseline for us. And that mug has infiltrated the church. And I ain't just talking about people in the Christian industry. I'm not talking about celebrity pastors. I'm not talking about the celebrity authors, speakers, whoever they may be. I'm talking about the idea of celebrity in general is kind of made its way into the very fabric of how we do church. Now, let me tell you what I mean by celebrity.
I was going to say, what do you mean?
Celebrity is largely defined by those that are viewed as wildly important, gifted, they're head and shoulders above the rest of us for whatever reason it might be. They stand apart from us, and that we have access to them because they are giving us content.
Right.
They're giving us touch points with their ideas, their worldview, and their products, whether it be art or curriculum or books or speaking or conferences or concerts. We have access to them. We feel like we know them. That's why when they die or they fall into some kind of drug addiction or something like that, it feels like it's happening to us. We feel like there's this intimate connection with these grandiose individuals that we get through the things that they provide for us. But at the same time, we have no idea who they are. Wow. Never met them. It is an intimacy that is completely false, but feels real. It's proximity, the celebrities for Jesus he talks about in the book, where you have this sense of nearness to them, but at the same time, the truth of the matter is you don't know them, you're not near them at all. There's no proximity. Right. You follow them the way that you follow relationships that are steeped in intimacy, but there actually is no intimacy with this individual, right? It's just a perceived idea that they have carefully crafted for you. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Let's just start with just churches. Man, in many hiring processes for pastors, we are looking for somebody that can exemplify the celebrity DNA.
Oh, yeah. I mean, charismatic.
Yep.
Charming.
Yep.
Has the look.
Yep.
The look.
The chiseled jawline.
The chiseled jawline.
Somebody stopped me at my show yesterday. I had a show at Texas Tech, and somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, KB." I was like, "What's up?" He was like, "Hey, how was the pilot's jawline on the ride over?"
Shout out to the Southside Rabbi tribe, bro. We love y'all, bro.
That's the inside joke.
You should have said that mug is it was elongated.
I tell you, he wasn't there because of DEI.
I tell you what,
he was there because of merit.
But yeah, they're looking for people that are like charismatic, charming.
Yeah.
Looks like marketable.
Yes. And if all of that fails, somebody that has the best, they are the best at preaching. One of the things that you need to be able to preach, or you're not qualified to be an elder. Right. So you need to be able to teach.
Yeah.
That's a part of the qualifications.
We see that in the scripture.
But there isn't anything in there about how good of a preacher you need to be. You just need to be able.
That is,
man, one of the fault lines in the Mars Hill movement was when they initially started to spread the Mars Hill kind of church planting network in Portland, right? Each congregation had pastors, but Mark Driscoll told the staff pretty clearly that I am the brand. I mean, that's a quote from him. I am the brand.
I'm the pastor of all these.
Yeah, I mean, the other fallen pastor was the gentleman out of Chicago. He had the radio show called Walking the Word on Moody Radio. He kind of was fired because of some crazy stuff that he was doing. But there was a conversation with him and Mark Driscoll, and I believe it was David Platt, where that brother was saying, hey, if every time I get up to bat, I'm knocking it out the park across the street, why would I let anybody else bat? That was his argument. But James McDonald was saying, well, of course you're going to pipe me into every single church. We'll just build LED screens. And then the pastor that's there can simply be the groundskeeper. I am knocking it out of the park every time I preach. Why would I not be preaching everywhere? The technology has given me the ability to continue to be the guy. People are here for me. Don't get it twisted.
Man.
This is the vibe that these folks were walking around with. And you know what? They were. And I think Thabiti actually pushed back on it in real time. He was like, but that's not faithful to the scripture.
Right. Can we just say shout out to Beatty real quick,
Man,
who has been in the trenches for a long time, back even in the days on a lot of these issues. He was in the trenches.
I love
fighting
Tabidi.
for the fidelity of Christ and
Yes.
his word.
Yes.
But go ahead. We love you, Tabidi.
The shepherd of shepherds, bro.
Yeah, man.
He is the elect of the elect, bro. But let me just say, bro, this is right in step with what the Bible teaches about the power of the gospel, not the power of the gospel preacher, okay? Right. The preacher is the foolishness in the equation for Paul.
Right.
The brilliance is in the gospel.
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
The means of transformation, bro, is not in brilliant speakers, bro.
Yeah.
Brilliant preaching has not been the catalyst, has not been the main catalyst. This is why I'm so unimpressed with talent, bro.
Yeah, man.
Because it has not been the most talented that have done the greatest work in this world. Yeah. And that's in the church. And there's a lot of analogies for that outside the church as well.
That's true.
But within the church, man, some of the most powerful ministries are ministries you never heard of, bro. So you've never heard of these folks, man. Because God is pleased to do powerful things with the faithful, not just with our perception of the talented, bro. And if that's what we're preaching for, I've said this before on this podcast. I remember my mom saying to me very, very clearly that she grew up in a church where folks would have these crazy knockdown sermons, freaking home run after home run.
Right.
They would ask each other afterwards, what did you learn today? I don't know. But it was good.
But it was good. It was moving.
Yeah.
It was powerful.
And there's the Lord can do anything with anything. So I'm not ruling that out. But I'm just simply saying for us to look at the ROI and say it really is going to come down to those who are going to draw people to sit in these seats. And it's going to come down to people's actual spiritual maturity.
Yeah.
It's two different things, bro.
Two different things. And it's crazy that even when you were talking about the preaching, I mean, that's what Paul gets at, right? In 1 Corinthians,
right?
When he says, I didn't come to you in lofty speech,
yes,
right?
Yes.
That's what he says. And then he actually says, my speech and my message were not in plausible words of wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of power, so that your faith may not rest in the wisdom of man, but in the power of God. It's like saying to people now, I didn't come to you preaching sermons with eloquent speech that would hit it out the park.
Yes.
What I showed was a demonstration that it was not me that was at work, but it was the Spirit that was at work, so that your faith, based upon what you heard me say, was a faith that was inculcated in you by the Spirit and not because my preaching was good, bro.
Broski.
That's what Paul is saying. It was not because I, like all of the philosophers in your time that you love to hear, I came to you with all of this great language of powerful speech and moving analogies and all of that. That's not why you have faith.
Yes.
I came and demonstrated that the Spirit is moving here.
Absolutely,
and
bro.
that the faith that is being installed in you through what you have heard from me and others, right, is not because of my talent and my ability to orate well. It's because the Spirit of God has used it to get a hold of your heart. And your faith rests in the power of God and not in the wisdom of man. Yes,
bro. I love that, bro. And I feel like I'm so glad you brought that up because I think that's what celebrities for Jesus means to me. Ooh. Is that it is a spiritual experience that rests in the wisdom of man. Woo! That's what it is, bro.
Celebrities for Jesus is a spiritual experience that rests not in the power of God, but in the wisdom of man.
Wisdom of man. It has touch points.
Right. It has intersections.
Yes. And God is pleased to, bro.
And God uses
anything.
anything.
Not enough to say that, well, God used it. Yes, God used it, but God is good, man.
And God used the donkey.
Yes,
God used Cyrus.
Yes.
God used Saul. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that God will use.
The metric of faithfulness is not that it did something.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Faithfulness is that it's aligning with the heart of God as revealed in his word,
Amen.
bro.
Amen.
That is faithfulness. Now, let me just say that before anybody knew who I was in school in Trinity, Florida, studying the Bible. I was in school with a gentleman who told me on multiple occasions, and we had many, many debates about this. He said that his vision, graduating Bible college, was to be the next Billy Graham.
Yeah.
That's what his vision was.
Yeah.
And I said to him then, and I would say it to him now or anybody else, that is a terrible, terrible, terrible ambition.
Right.
Because Billy Graham didn't ask to be Billy Graham.
Right.
Billy Graham asked to be an evangelist.
Right.
Billy Graham, as far as I can discern, initially was concerned about people understanding who Jesus was, and God, in his mercy, in his providence, decided to give him opportunities to do that in front of millions of people in ways that maybe folks haven't done since maybe the revivals, or even since. But to say that what I want to be is the guy that stands in front of millions of people and tells them about Jesus, there is a way to say that where it is truly a heart for winning as many people to Christ as possible.
Right.
But let me just tell you, as an artist that is in front of a lot of people, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you say, I want to ultimately be a person who is the center of a large group of people who are coming to me day in and day out, listening to what I have to say for the gospel. I desire it. That's my passion. My passion is to be
a celebrity for Jesus.
A celebrity for Jesus. It's possible. Being a celebrity is not in and of itself a sin. Of course not. And I'm going to get to that in a second.
Right.
But I don't know the people that want to be these rock stars for the King so that they can influence people for Jesus. I don't know how you do that with a pure heart. I haven't met I'm sorry. I have not met the person yet, bro, that was their deepest desire, that it had not been a disaster for their heart. Yeah. I don't know that person. I've talked about it before, dog, because one of the things that people will say, platforms, profits, fame, notoriety, awardship, all of those things are tools for the kingdom. We say that about money all the time. Money is a tool. Mm-hmm. But I think it's important to say that it's not a tool like the way a screwdriver is a tool.
Yeah, right.
Or the way a hammer is a tool, right? It's a tool in the way that a buzzsaw is a tool. Or chainsaw. Yeah. Or radioactive materials.
I was going to say, like, it's like
penicillin.
Right. Or like a nuclear liquid. Like
some sort of nuclear reactor.
Yeah, like it's like you have to hold that mug with a hazmat suit on. And with like just caution.
Think of all the casualties to this tool.
Right.
Think of the empires that have been corrupted because of this tool. Yeah. Think of the churches that have come falling down, the marriages that have come falling down, the families that have come apart at the seams, the systems of absolute subjugation that have all been driven by this tool. You talk about this tool like it is a toothbrush. Man. It's not a toothbrush. It is radioactive material. I'm sorry, cuz I'm not a prophet or a son of a prophet, but I am rarely wrong, bro. When I get with new dudes coming onto the scene and I see it in their eyes, they are trying to achieve Christian celebrity. Mm-hmm. That's how they know they're killing it, because they're able to say that the things that celebrities have are starting to come to me. When that's the North Star for them, destruction is soon behind, bro. Destruction is soon behind, bro. I haven't seen it, and let me say, industries are good at covering it up.
Right.
They're good at having PR to spin things and to silence folks. The amount, let me just say very clearly, I do not believe on any degree. My experience has been in the Christian music industry with some intersections with mainstream, but largely in the Christian industry, right? I would say, without a doubt, it is nowhere near as dark as the things. In fact, I would not describe it as dark. I say there's some real problems there. And if I have ever in any way tried to say that there's a one-to-one comparison with people who want nothing to do with Jesus and the things that they do, you might be able to find some of that in some of the contracts. Yeah, they're using some of those contracts. You might be able to find that in some of the business practices. I'm not saying that it is not without significant flaw. Mm-hmm. A significant flaw that can outpace the world. But I think wholesale, what is happening in the Christian music industry is more like light than it is like darkness. Mm-hmm. And what I would say that's happening in the mainstream music industry is often more like darkness than it is like light. Okay. Even though there is some light in the mainstream as well.
Yeah.
But let me just say, bro, celebrity culture is that there is a product, person, or institution at the top who we are receiving our direction from without any proximity or intimacy. We don't know them, but we're loyal to them, right?
Right.
And they also build institutions. They have people that work for them, and they can make phone calls and cut your funding. There's a whole interweb of power connected to the celebrity. And what I'm saying is, I have seen, and even in my industry, the abuse that comes from that culture where I know we've done you dirty. We didn't pay you, right? Or the most recent story that I heard, there was somebody that was sexually assaulted, but the person that did it is important. So let's not, rock the boat. Yeah. Do you want to work in this town?
Or do you want to never work in this town
Or do you
again?
want to never work in this town again?
Right.
Right? I would imagine that that's a minor thing in our industry, but it's a major thing. I mean, when I'm thinking about so many of my friends, they're in the mainstream, bro.
Oh, man.
You shut up. Why do you think that Harvey Weinstein's and Diddy's and Jeffrey Epstein's...
There's a Me Too. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. And like you said, yeah.
This is what it means. We said this on the last episode, but if you didn't catch it, I'm going to say it again. Stop thinking about selling your soul to the devil as so fanatical and ceremonial.
Right.
Selling your soul to the devil is a catch-all.
Yeah.
For saying, I will go along with whatever evil I am asked to engage in, whether it's in my art or behind closed doors for the pleasure of somebody in power, as long as it means I can keep my celebrity status.
That's exactly.
That's selling your soul to the devil.
Selling your soul.
That's what it is.
Yes.
And it's demonic. It is evil. There's obviously, we're seeing emerging right now, this pedophilia that sort of run through the ranks of those who are in power, the sexual abuse that runs through the ranks of those in power. And you all knew about it.
Right.
You knew
They
these
had
people
a whole
were doing this.
team of people.
50 Cent was not acting on hunches.
Southside.
For like 10 years.
For 10
he's
years.
Been saying
Man, I think there's something weird about Diddy. You got to keep your eye on that R. Kelly.
Right. Right.
These people are saying, if I told you what I really know.
Yeah. It gets dark.
Yes.
And then sometimes celebrity, man, even when you think about, not trying to distract from your point,
Please,
but
go
even
ahead.
when you're thinking about, even when I think about an R. Kelly, that you had folks that watched this man marry a 15-year-old Aaliyah
Wow.
in the 90s.
Yep.
And cats was just still buying his albums and listening to it, watching his music videos and listening to his songs like he's not a grown man.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm
married
yelling
to
at
a
y'all.
child.
Married to a child.
Yes.
Because he's a celebrity.
Yes, because he's a celebrity.
There was a very great, apt representation of that in the Boondocks.
Yeah.
When they had an episode of R. Kelly in court, clearly guilty of everything that he did with all of the evidence on the table, and they showed R. Kelly put on some music and start singing and dancing, and everybody in the courtroom started singing and dancing, including the judge.
Yes.
And everyone just totally forgot
judge.
that we just watched this
Step
man.
in the name of
That we
love.
just watched this man on tape do something illegal.
Yes.
Because the point that they were trying to make is that talent and celebrity will
Yes.
blind you.
Yes. Yeah, it reminds me of
evil.
what Dave Chappelle said. His manager, he was at a restaurant, and O.J. Simpson walked in, and he was having dinner with his manager, and he saw O.J. Simpson like, yo, O.J., man, what's up, man? Juice Man, blah, 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 blah. O.J. walks away, and his manager was like, you just shook that murderer's hand? And Dave Chappelle said, excuse me, that murderer rushed for over 1,000 yards in his first season. That murderer was one of the most prolific football players we've ever known. So, excuse me. Pardon me. Because that's what it does,
But
bro.
yeah.
Because celebrity, again, it's you have all of the impact on my life as someone who's in an intimate relationship with me without ever knowing you.
Yeah.
I can still maintain, no matter how I have to explain it or excuse it or justify it or turn a blind eye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like we can resonate with this with drill music that came out of Chicago, bro.
Right.
It was this new sound. It was some of the most dynamic beats that Young Chop was making. But Chief Keef, though he was making banger after banger after banger, expressed that he rejoiced over the murder rate rising through his music.
Which is demonic.
Which is a very evil thing to do. We're talking serial killer music, but it sounds so good.
Right.
That's the demonic part.
That's the demonic
That's the
part,
enchantment. Stop thinking about the Illuminati. Stop thinking about it in terms of like a spinning pinwheel with the Twilight music playing behind it, or words being played backwards. Right. Or pitched down.
Kind of
or
all this
sped up.
Just all of this mysticism and spirit. Yeah, all of the spooky stuff.
Yes, that's what G. Craig Lewis told a lot of black churches.
Right.
Told a lot of us. The devil doesn't need to do that. The devil doesn't need to get you subliminally.
No.
Right?
He does it very explicitly.
He does it very explicitly. We're not ignorant to his devices. We see them coming, but they look too good to deny. That's the problem. That's the problem. He isn't trying to trick you into hell.
The devil can.
He wants you to think that the pathway to destruction is not as jagged as God is trying to make it seem.
He will pave the pathway to destruction with nice sounding music and the bins.
Yes.
And everything that makes you feel like everything is all good.
Yes, bro. Yes.
Pocket full of money.
And when that trickles down into, going back to the church, when it comes down to, okay, number one, we assign a sense of deity to this person who has this impact on us, but we don't have proximity with them, so we can't really hold them accountable.
Right.
There's not even the space. Many of you, no matter how much you went hard for R. Kelly before he was thrown in jail,
Yep.
if you knew R. Kelly personally, it probably would have been very, very easy for you to be like, this is just a man who was extremely perverted, and though his songs don't sound as good anymore because I have proximity. I'm seeing the failure of a boyfriend and a husband and a producer and an abuser. It would change the way you saw him. The same thing was happening with Ravi. The reports that came out, there were individuals within RZIM that were asking questions, that were saying, I saw you hang out with a masseuse all day long alone.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Right. What is going on?
And the celebrity culture led many of them to castigate those people. How dare you? This is the man of God.
Yeah.
Think about what he's done. Have you read his study Bible? Did you see the debate he had with Hawkins?
At Harvard University?
At Harvard, at Princeton?
Yeah.
Think of the impact that he has had on this world. No. To do the right thing would cost us all our jobs, and which is built on his reputation. We're ministered to too much by the celebrity to hold them accountable.
Oh.
And when that becomes pastoral leanings,
we are ministered to too much by the celebrity to hold them accountable.
And what happens when the pastor begins to act like a narcissist, and the pastor has consolidated the leadership structure in a way that they are everything, they own it.
Right.
They own our church. They are the brand of our church. They are the people that make the decisions finally of who is hired, who is not hired. They are not, as Thabiti in his excellent book on eldership talks about, the first among equals. They are the first, and everyone is unequal. We are the only, and there is no equals.
Right.
When that is the structure, broski. And I understand there are small churches out there that don't have resources, or perhaps there might be a pool where you can't, establish elders that can help to lead the vision. I know that there are exceptions, but largely the idea that one man or woman would be comfortable being at the head of God's people without accountability is not something that has come from the Bible. It has come from celebrity culture, bro. Because that's what these people are on. I love Kanye, bro. I love Kanye. I love a lot of his music. I love the things that he shared when he was going through his Jesus.
Yeah.
It seems like it was a phase at this point, given this most recent interview. But Kanye does not have experience in the last probably 20 years, bro. He does not have a bunch of experiences outside of controversy that have brought him to reality that he's just a man. Most of his life is the affirmation that he is something more than a man.
I mean, yeah. Yep.
And his assertion on Jesus was, I am a God.
Oh, my God. That's what he said.
He said, what do you mean? He did the interview that
he said, I meant what I said.
I said what I said. I think I'm a God.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Again,
double down.
Again, why would he arrive to such a conclusion?
Yeah.
Well, where I go, people weep. People will spend $15,000 for shoes that I designed. I never even touched these. She never wore these shoes, but I designed them. And Nike distribute them. They're $15,000. People will pay for those. People will sleep outside to see me. Anything that I say changes culture. How I dress is how everybody else dresses.
Right. He said I'm the new Jesus.
He really has been convinced that he is a God.
Yeah.
And Kanye is just a man.
Right.
Like everybody else.
Exactly right.
You might be a really smart man.
Right.
Very creative man, very innovative man, a very rich man, but you are just a man.
Right.
That's all you are.
Right.
We talked about this on another episode about our brother Ryan Garcia, who we are praying for.
Yeah.
But how Ryan has went into some of these, the Gervonta fight, and it sounds like he's going into this Devin Haney fight with this idea that he is something more than a boxer.
Yeah.
That he's somehow God's servant with special abilities and power, that he can drink the night before and still go out and give world-class athletes work in sparring.
Yeah. Magical Christianity, you call it.
A magical
which comes
Christianity.
With celebrity culture.
Yes, because I'm special, I have powers. You don't have powers. And that man on the other side of the ring that is trained, that has kept this body pure, that's done everything he needed to do to prepare for this fight is going to show you that you are just a man. You bleed like all of us. You drop like all of us. You don't have no special abilities. I would argue, even over Muhammad Ali, the most talented boxer that has ever lived is Mike Tyson. I believe that, bro. And I will fight you on that. He wasn't the people's champ. He got a lot of demons he was fighting.
Yeah.
But I have never seen That's right. But I've never seen something. This dude was 13 and 14 years old, knocking out grown
30-year-old,
men.
yeah, knocking out 30.
The most gifted athlete in the sport ever, I would say.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, I would agree.
And if you asked him, "Is your success because of your talent?" he would say, "Absolutely not." He said, "I don't believe in talent."
That's what he said. Yep.
He said, "I don't believe in talent." Mike Tyson said he doesn't believe in talent.
Yep.
I only believe in hard work. He said, "I wake up at 5 a.m. because I know my opponent ain't getting up till 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I got an hour of running in before he got up."
Yep.
When he's getting his teeth brushed, I've already started training.
Yep. Same thing with Kobe.
Same thing with Kobe.
Mamba mentality was not some kind of magical mentality that was descended from the heavens on him.
Yes.
If you read his Mamba mentality book, his whole entire book is all about every single bit of hard work that he did, bro.
That's right. Yes.
It was not magical.
That's right.
He was, and he is one of the most talented players next to Jordan,
right,
and LeBron, and the closest to Michael Jordan.
Yes.
I would say. Some people would even say better.
Yeah.
And he was, and his coach said that when he arrived to practice in the morning, Kobe was already in the car asleep because he had practiced before the head coach got there.
He had already finished his first practice, bro. And this is what I'm trying to say: because we are leaders, because we are well loved or well followed, we have some relational power. We got some funding behind us. We are still just men. The quote goes that the best man is still a man at best.
Yes.
Period, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And that means that you are susceptible to the temptations of money, power, and resources. That means that you need to be held accountable.
Yep.
That means that when we ask questions of why did you buy that Gucci belt? What, has God ever a problem with me wearing Gucci? Well, of course not. But I know that the Bible does say that there is something called modest dress.
Right.
There is something about a modest position as the people of God. I don't know exactly what that means. I know it ain't about yoga pants.
Message.
But I tell you what it is about, that we are to carry ourselves where we are not slaves to opulence.
Yes.
So if you are doing something that is opulence, we have the right to ask.
That's true.
And if your knee-jerk reaction is, get out of my face,
then that might be
who
a
are you
sign.
to explain? Do you know that I just spent a week in Sudan, okay?
Preaching the gospel?
Preaching the gospel. Do you not know that we gave away, if that's your reaction, you're wet, brother.
Yeah.
You're dripping, brother.
Yeah.
You're swimming in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're drying off, king.
Yeah.
Or queen.
Right.
I love the way that she captures it in the book. Celebrity has the reality of one who has personal impact without actual personal relationship. The people that I would say that are some of the biggest victims of celebrity culture are not the Carl Lentzes or the folks that we would hail as celebrity pastors, right? These are not the guys who I think are the people that personify celebrity Christian status alone. They don't have an exclusive, and people like me.
Right.
We don't have the patent on it, bro.
Yeah, you don't have the monopoly.
Fam, the monopoly is not here. It is ubiquitous, bro. And I see it a lot of times in the small parish with the guy with 75 members who cannot be told anything. He can never be corrected. He is always right. Most churches in America are a guy with 75 people.
That's true. Right.
So,
and if you don't think that those churches are full of pastors who see themselves as the celebrity of their church,
and it can get even worse, bro. And then I want to transition into this. Celebrity poses a danger to the soul, right? It's a tool. It's a very good thing that can do very, very bad things.
Like again, handling some nuclear material, right?
That's right. Because what scares me, bro, especially when I serve at smaller parishes, and sometimes I'll sit with pastors, because there's such a fine line between I love God's people and I want to shepherd them into maturity, that every man and every woman in our congregation would be mature in Christ as they stand before the Lord.
Right.
There is a desire to do that, and I want to use preaching to accomplish that. I want to use preaching to help my people look like Jesus. There's a thin line between that, and I am managing an addiction that I love to be in control. I love to be listened to. I love to rule. And
I get to rule here.
And I get to rule here on behalf of God. So when we get in, when we're having a conversation, I can pull out God is leading you to do. God has led me to tell you. Or if you do such and such, God's going to have a problem with you if it differs from my vision. It's such a thin line, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like the wheat and the tares, bro. And it's not until you spend time with somebody outside of the lights on ministry moment that you can even discern the difference.
Right.
You have two dudes that are preaching the exact same message. One is preaching it to scratch that selfish ambition who loves to speak on behalf of God and be heard. And the other guy is preaching it because he is longing to see the souls in his church made sturdy.
Right.
And it'd be the same message, bro. It'd be the same message. And I think what I want to caution us, especially those that God has decided
to prop up.
Yeah. Right? The folks that God has allowed to be platformed, right? And even that, I struggle with that sometimes. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
God give you this platform?
Right. Or was this like a product of, or did he just allow it?
Did he allow
as
yeah,
a
that's
product
right.
of your hard work and ingenuity with marketing and
Yes.
right.
Has God sanctioned this?
Right.
Or has God just allowed this?
Right.
Because you have fit into what the market wanted.
Right.
Somebody went away.
Right.
And you rose. You were
Yeah.
at the right place at the right time.
Right.
You had a song that went viral. Is that really the power of the Spirit, or is it the power of marketing? I don't know, broski. I don't assume to know. And I am also accountable personally to the things that I'm saying.
Right.
These are things that that I have to think through.
Right.
But broski, I am cautioning my brothers and sisters in this influence age where everybody has an audience. Check your heart on the ways in which that influence can lead you to a kind of drunkenness, bro, where you cannot be held accountable, where no one really knows you. And those that do know you, they're dependent on you to stay successful.
Yeah.
So
of course, it creates a conflict of interest to hold you accountable.
Why would I hold you accountable?
Right.
Yes.
I need you to continue to.
And we also do that to our pastors too. I live remember, celebrity, I'm living vicariously through you to some degree too, because you bring tremendous meaning to me. If my pastor is harsh to his wife and maybe cheating on his spouse and is stealing money, if those things are true, what does that say about me? Because I follow him. I would much rather believe those things are not true.
Right.
It's more convenient for me not to hold you accountable. Yeah. And don't let you be brilliant.
Or if my pastor is covering up abuse in the church. Sorry,
yes.
We have to say that now too.
Yeah, you're right, bro. Man, they were talking about Bill Hybels. They said that brother, who's going to stand up to Bill? Bill's smarter than you and everybody you know. He knows more verses of the Bible than you and everybody you know. Who's going to sit down to him and tell him he's wrong? You ain't as close to God.
Oh, gosh.
You ain't even getting the info like him.
That's bad.
So you ain't finna come in here like God told me to talk to you. What you mean God told me to talk to you? I'm him.
Oh, my God. Wow.
When then, again, that's all celebrity culture. It didn't come, it's not Christos, it's not Christ culture. It's not cruciformity culture.
Yeah.
That's celebrity culture, bro.
Right.
I feel like the anecdote to celebrity culture, and I've seen this in my own life, as I am not a celebrity, but there are some people that know who I am at Lifeway Christian Bookstore. Bro, the thing that detoxes, inoculates, and cures is being a person who is transparent with the people who are around you to the point that they can tell you that you are wrong and you would listen to it. I feel like if you were surrounded by people who aren't directly dependent on you and your success, like God, like gospel friends that can say to you, you kind of came off a little harsh there.
Yeah.
That could say, what's going on with you and wifey? You seem like you're super harsh when I hear you on the phone with her.
Yeah.
People that can say to you, I think you need to take a break. So just practically, the anecdote is transparency with those that are around you that can hold you accountable. And the very, very last thing, and they can hold you accountable to the things that you said you were going to do and the person that you want to be. For example, I believe everybody that is making a lot of money, especially if you're doing it in the ministry standpoint, you need to communicate to a group of people around you how much money is enough.
Yes.
How much is enough?
I remember you told me that at the beginning.
Yes, bro.
If people don't know, like, of course, y'all know me and KB knew each other since we were kids, but I remember when KB first started, like, really doing this as a career.
Yeah.
And in the very beginning,
Yep.
we had a conversation driving to Crossover Church at the time. I remember exactly where we were.
Yep.
And you were like, I have to put a cap on how much I'm going to decide to make.
Yep.
No, not the. Regardless of how much I actually make, I need to put a cap on how much I'm going to keep.
That's right.
I think that's what you were saying.
That's right.
For the sake of my own heart.
heart.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about,
and I was
we're talking about Oppenheimer, bro.
And in my mind, I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? And I never thought about something like that.
Yes,
but
bro.
Yes. Man, say that again. We're talking about Oppenheimer.
We're talking about Oppenheimer.
Talk about something nuclear.
You're talking about something nuclear that can be used in ways that is good. I'm not talking about talking about Hiroshima,
right?
But I'm talking about in general. You can use nuclear power to do good things,
right?
But you have to realize that money has destroyed more nations, more people than atom bombs. Money is a good, dangerous thing.
Yeah.
So you need to ask yourself, how much money do we need to live? Right. Is it 100 grand? Is it 150 grand? Is it 200 grand? So if we end up making $20 million, I'm still trying to figure out how to live off the 150.
Right.
I've given my life to that. And you know what? I have a lot more resources that I can invest in. And it doesn't mean that we don't have acts. We don't. Right. But we are either we're giving it, we are we are investing it, or we're saving it.
Right.
But when I talk about my life, I get a big check, and the next day you see me in a
Lamborghini,
in a Lambo. We're having the wrong conversation, brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
It's not, is there anything wrong with KB driving a Lamborghini? Of course there's not anything wrong with me driving a Lamborghini.
Right.
Of course there's nothing wrong. It's just a car.
Right.
But everything that I purchase is a reflection of something that's going on in my heart. Ooh. And we are right to ask what's going on in your heart.
Yes, especially if those things are particularly opulent.
Yes.
Yes.
Think about how much time Jesus talks about life not being about the abundance of possessions and what money does for the soul, bro. Jesus spends a lot of time talking about that, but we don't spend any time talking about it. We spend our time defending those who are using it and have a lot of it and flexing it online.
Wow.
That's what we do.
Wow.
But that's the wrong conversation. Of course, nothing wrong with you having a Gucci belt.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with you walking around in some.
The question is, should you?
Yes. Should you? And also, should I be attained? What does it mean as I'm looking at you as my leader and you bought your wife a Lamborghini truck? What does that mean for me and my wife?
That's why it's just I have so much the issue with pastor. I'm sorry. I know we're not talking about that.
For sure, but you don't. But I'm saying what I find it arrogant that you don't feel any need to even explain to us. Give us the devotional theological. Give us the angle. You explain everything else to us. Help us understand that, brother. You tell us how we should be married. You tell us how we should give and tithe. You tell us about what kind of music we should listen to. Tell us about that, brother. Please lead me, because if not, you are going to lead a generation of people that think that these are the gifts of righteousness. Private jets and Lamborghini trucks are the gifts of faithfulness. It's a subtle message. Yes, bro, and it's not just that. I think about the ways in which everybody's kids they love the Lord, and my daughter is a missionary to South Africa, and blah, 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 blah. Your family just seems that and they hold it together until they turn 18, and that preacher's kid becomes a demon. But up until that, we're watching this perfectly polished family unit where everyone is loving God and getting baptized and baptizing other people. And I'm like, well, dang.
What does that say about my family?
Yes. My rebellious child.
Right.
My gay teenage daughter. That's the stuff that I need to know how to be shepherded through. I need examples of that. Help us with that, brother. The picture of success and perfection and opulence.
Celebrity, yeah.
Is celebrity.
Celebrity.
Is a very distorted image that oftentimes I'm in this group, feel that we have no need to even explain to anybody what we're doing.
All right, before we go any further, we got a question.
Okay.
Are you ready to reshape the future of youth discipleship?
Talk to him, man.
This episode of Southside Rabbi is brought to you by 10 by 10, which is a collective on mission bringing together diverse voices from across the globe. They are changing the conversation, creating resources, and gathering leaders to ensure the youth experience the abundant life that Jesus offers. With much gratitude for the support of over 100 organizations, including different denominations, networks, and parachurch and research organizations, 10 by 10 is on a mission to make faith in Jesus matter more to the next generations. Young people are leaving the faith at an alarming rate, but we're not dwelling on the staggering numbers. Instead, we're prayerfully facing the issue head-on, partnering with church leaders and others to raise awareness. Visit 10by10.org to discover who is on mission alongside 10 by 10 and how you can partner with this collective effort. Now is the time to come together to reach the next generation and beyond with the truth of Jesus. We invite all of our listeners to join us on this incredible journey, ensuring we amplify our actions, which speak much louder than words. Help us make faith matter more to 10 million young people over the next 10 years. Together, let's bring hope and transformation. Find out more at 10by10.org. That's TENX10.org.
All I'm saying is I have watched fame, resource, and power destroy many a people. We talked about in the last episode, the underpinning of slavery was a love for money.
Yeah.
To even sharpen this point, there's a museum in Florida that actually still has the currency. Slaves were printed on the dollar because they were seen as currency.
Right.
They were money. They were wealth. That's why the wealthy owned slaves.
Yeah. It was like owning stock.
It was like owning stock, bro.
When you get into the history of the stock market and slavery, that's a whole other story. Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
But it's that simple, old, selfish ambition, love for money, bro. And there's a similar kind of thing that stops us here, that we don't talk about this as much because we love money. We see those who seem to be doing all the things that looks like someone who loves money.
Right.
There's nothing about you that is distinct from somebody else that loves that someone who is honest about it, that has money over tattooed on their chest. You all live the same life. You just don't cheat on your wife and smoke weed. Your lives look exactly the same. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying that. I drive a Tesla, brothers and sisters. I have 2 of them. I also said to my wife and those around me that we are going to drive this car for 8 years.
Let me tell you, hold on. I could tell you that for sure.
Yes.
This is a true story. When you bought that Tesla was not as accessible to everybody as it is now.
Right.
So when you bought the Tesla, you didn't see Teslas all over the road.
all over the place.
Because
it was before the Model 3 even existed.
It was before the Model 3 even existed. Even if you listen to the Land of the Giants podcast, they talk about how in the beginning, Tesla was a sign of opulence because they were so rare to see.
Right.
That if you owned one, it was like, dang, man, like they must have it. You know what I'm saying? And then over time, now that we have the Model 3, the Model Y, now you see Teslas like you see Honda Civics or Honda Accords.
Right.
But I remember at the time when you got that Tesla, first of all, before you bought the Tesla, you asked your pastor if you should buy the Tesla. I remember that. Our pastor, you came to him and said, this is what I'm thinking about doing. What do you think?
Right.
So you didn't just go out there and be like, man, I got the money to do it. I want to do it. You really thought about what is it going to look like for me driving this? What are people going to think about? What does it mean for my
Especially
heart?
if I'm serving at a working class church.
Right. What does it mean for my heart? Yes. What does it mean for me to pull up at a working class church in this vehicle? What does it mean for my heart? And I remember you were getting counsel, like, should I do this?
Yes.
And I remember when you purchased it, you told me, you was like, I'm going to drive this car for 8 years. We're keeping both of these joints for a long time.
Right.
And we ain't going to be, the new model out. Let's go get the new model.
Straight up. Yep.
Right. And you explained to me why you bought it.
Yes. And this is what I'm saying. To my point, I'm not just huffing and puffing.
No. I remember.
If I were to come to work tomorrow, work at the same place here at HJ Productions. If I came to work tomorrow in a brand new, the Lucid. The $150,000 Lucid. Or the $180,000 or $200,000 EV Escalade.
The Escalade,
I pulled up in that tomorrow.
Well, first of all, if you did that, the first thing that I would think is that he rented this.
Yes.
That's the first thing that I would think, because I would be like, there's no way he's spending this amount of money on this.
That's right.
So just because of who you've already shown yourself to be.
Right.
There's some people that if they pulled up in that, I would be like,
That's in perfect step.
Right. It's in perfect step of who he is. First of all, if I saw you pull up in it, I would say, what music video are we shooting? Or where is he going? Because he must have rented this for like the kids so they can go on a vacation. You know, they can drive his mug somewhere. That's the first thing that I would think. But if you hopped out of that Escalade EB and said, I bought this, I would have some questions.
That's right. Because
it would seem out of character.
You literally said you weren't going to do this. And you're doing the thing you said you weren't going to do.
I don't even think I would think about it at that point. Yeah. That is true. That would be a great example. I would just think, this is not who I know you to be.
Yes.
I don't know you to be the kind of person that's like, I'm going to go and buy the new $200,000 Escalade. This is what is going on here.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And then I think I would think, and you also said that this is something that you wouldn't do. But I think the first thing I would think is, this seems outside of your character.
I like that. Yeah. I like that. Yes, bro.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a testament. And let me just say, in ending this episode, I got a chapter in Dangerous Jesus called Dangerous Joy.
Oh, man,
that
is so good.
That is all about enjoying your life.
Yes.
It's all about not feeling guilt over that tomahawk steak.
Yes.
It's about being able to wield the good things in this world, like Tesla's, for the glory of God.
Right.
This is not a call for us to not enjoy nice things.
Absolutely.
This is a call for us to, one, be sober to why you want nice things.
Oh, that's good.
Be sober.
Yeah.
And also, don't just assume because someone who reports themselves to be a man of God has done this opulent thing that it somehow baptizes good and righteous.
Right.
He's a man. She's a woman that needs to ask the same questions.
Mm-hmm.
We might think you might be on godly level 5,000, but you were still a human being.
Right.
And these things are corrupting.
Right.
They don't have to be.
Right.
Anything can be corrupting.
Right.
But this is why we have to put things in place to protect ourselves. Mm-hmm. We have to be careful about who we commit ourselves to. We have to be careful with how we spend our treasure. Because where our treasure is, there our heart will also be. Yeah. Jesus said that.
Yeah.
So you got to be sober about the reality.
Right.
Secondly, you have to put in boundaries. You need boundaries. The late Dr. Cox, who was my counselor through college and a little bit afterwards, he's with the Lord right now. He said, if you do not put parameters on your money will run wild and you will be following it wherever it goes, bro.
Woo!
So he said, out the gate. And don't wait till you got $1 million. Do it with your 30,000.
Because I remember you said, if you do not tell your money what to do, it will tell you what to do.
It'll tell you what to do.
Yeah.
It speaks, bro.
Yeah. Go get this.
Yeah, well, you know how you'll feel afterwards? I remember the first time I drove my mom's BMW. She came down.
I remember.
Yes, bro. And
it's so crazy I was here for all this because I remember you told me about it after you drove it.
Yes, bro. I was 18 years old. I pulled up to the light, bro. People were looking at me. I remember I pulled up to a bus stop, too, dog. And folks are looking, pointing. I pulled up to Sweet Bake. I went to the Chinese spot that was there. I got out the car. This girl was walking out. She said, that's yours? I was like, man, it's my mom. She said, ooh, okay.
She was still impressed.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't even yours.
Yes.
That's how crazy it was. That's how crazy. She was still
When
impressed.
You hear that, okay, BMW.
Okay, suit.
Man, that mug felt good. I wanted more of that. And bro, to be driving around with that everywhere you go, everywhere you hop out, and everywhere you go, there's whispers. Who is he? What does he do? That stuff feels good, bro. That good thing turns into a drug thing. And then you become someone who is simply managing an addiction. That is why you have to have the things that should be gifts that become the things that you deserve and that you cannot live without, bro. Ooh. Niceties become necessities.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sobriety, boundaries.
Man, well, thank you, KB. I think it was also good to hear from you.
Yeah.
Being that you have status yourself and hearing the kind of things that you are doing to keep your heart pure in the midst of that. Though, of course, you're not a perfect man, but to hear from you about the things that we should be doing to try to protect ourselves from the trappings of celebrity, and to hear that celebrity is not just for the celebrities.
Oh, bro.
That we all...
It's a reality.
It's a reality, and that we all try to have the same kind of... We may chase some of the same stuff that celebrity affords people in our own small ways. Right. And so, thank you for that, man.
Amen,
thank
brother.
you for that. This has been Southside Rabbi. I'm Amin the Dream.
Okay, the second letter.
Love y'all. Peace.